The durian is a large, spiky Southeast Asian fruit about the size of a football. To all but its fans, the durian has a revolting smell and is often given the label of the smelliest fruit in the whole world. The fruit is yellow inside and its flesh gives off its horrible smell. Now, this is the world's smelliest and dirtiest man. His name is Amu Haji. He hasn't bathed in 60 years. He eats rotten animal carcasses and smokes feces out of a pipe. Now he's single and looking for love. And he lives in a remote village, I would say, in Iran. And Mr. Haji is 80 years old. Now, as for that fruit, I'm definitely not eating something that smells that bad. And my family can attest to me not eating chitlins. That's just a no-no for me. It smells horrible. And besides its origin, the intestines of a pig says enough right there. Now, as for this man, this 80-year-old man, that is disgusting. But what's more disturbing is that this man likes this. He hasn't bathed in 60 years. That says something about his psyche. That tells me that something, a spirit, so to speak, has caught hold of him. A spirit of uncleanliness, a spirit of nastiness, a spirit of vile. It's just disturbing. Disturbing for a man to eat dung, so to speak. That's just totally disturbing. And he's not right in the head. But check out the rest of this and you see what I mean. Okay, let's turn to Genesis 8:21. Give you a few seconds. Ready? Okay, let's read. And when the Lord smelled the pleasing aroma, the Lord said in his heart, I will never again curse the ground because of man. For the intention of man's heart is evil from his youth. Neither will I ever again strike down every living creature as I have done. Now let's also go to 2 Corinthians chapter 2 verse 15. And it says, for we are the aroma of Christ to God among those who are being saved and among those who are perishing. My theory, this is my theory before the fall of man. See, the thing is, we were made perfect. We were made perfect in God's splendor, in God's eyes. But sin changed things in 5 ways. At least 5 ways and things I could come up with. Now, some factual from what I'm about to say, and then some just from my own thoughts, my own theory. Okay? 5 things. First, we communicated with animals. We were able to talk with animals. We would have been able to talk with animals if it had not been for sin. Excuse me, and you say, okay, and this is factual. This is not from my own thought process, my own mind. This is factual, coming from the Bible. And you say, well, how is that to be? In the book of Genesis, right before the fall of man, when Satan, the devil, came upon the serpent and spoke through the serpent to talk to Eve. Okay? Now, did you ever stop to think, as she was speaking, conversing back with the serpent, did you ever stop to think that, wow, she is not surprised, she is not scared or anything? This was an everyday thing with her. She was conversing with the snake. And if she is conversing with the snake, then that meant that she'll be able to converse with the cow, with the chicken, with the lion, with every other animal on the planet. Because for her and Adam, that was a normal thing. That was a normal thing. And that is something that had changed because of sin. Okay, number 2. In this fleshly body, we were designed to live forever. In this fleshly body, we were designed to live forever. But because of sin, that changed the dynamics of things. That shortened our lifespan. That put a chink in our armor, so to speak. Let me put these back on. If you look at in the book of Genesis and you look how once sin came into play, okay, it said that was our death knell. Now, we died in 2 ways. The first way, the very first way, was when Adam and Eve sinned, especially Adam, because the mantle, the responsibility was on his shoulders. So when that happened, we had the spiritual death. When that happened, there was a separation between man and God. Now, up until that point, there was no separation. But when sin came into play, there was that separation. Adam and Eve died a slow death. Adam and Eve died a death mentally because there was separation. And then they went on to die physically, even though it was not immediate at that time, but they died physically. And if you notice, people especially back in the within the book of Genesis, they lived many hundreds of years, as opposed to today. And more people starting to hit 100 years again. Okay, but especially back then, you would live 600, 500, 700, 800, 900 years. But as time went on and more sin became prevalent, the average age, so to speak, started to go down. Number 3, certain creatures and insects were introduced because of sin. Now, this right here, that's my aspect, my idea, my theory, my thought process on this. And I'm thinking here. You got animals, you got insects, but there are certain ones, again, my thoughts, there are certain ones that just seem devil-like, so to speak. Man, my thoughts, okay, like the cockroach. It spreads sickness, it spreads disease, and their functionality, from what I can see now, if anybody else can see this or heard of, please let me know. But their functionality serves no purpose. They're nasty. They cause nastiness, I put it that way, because I've heard from somebody that they clean themselves constantly. But as in conjunction with humans, they're nasty. Okay? So I believe this is my thought now. I believe that when sin came into play, it also brought along, it's just me, the devil's pets, the devil's insects. That's what I feel. You can take it with roaches, you can take it up with rats. Rats, same way. I look at them as the same way. I truly believe that they came into play, such as insects like roaches, vermin, and not good name for them, vermin of animals such as rats came into play because of sin. Because of sin. Number 4, no pain in childbirth. This is factual. Because God had mentioned this. God said, or basically after the fall of man and sin with Eve, part of the punishment for women is pain in childbirth. So that leads you to think and say that if it had not been for sin, then there would be no pain. Because after all, if we're in coexisting with God and we're in His realm, we're in His will, there is no pain. No pain. No pain at all. No pain, no sickness, no sorrow, no disease, no suffering, no sorrow, none of that. So especially no pain. And 5, which focuses on the topic, which is, for lack of a better term, pooping or the smell of it. And I think, because of sin, that our body structure may have changed. Okay? I truly believe, thinking along these lines now, I truly believe, because, and this is a subject that's taboo, okay? This is a subject that not many people want to talk about, okay? That it just does not fit into what God is saying that heaven is like. It doesn't fit into what we've been reading about heaven. I don't see heaven as where you can smell something awful, any unpleasant smell. Would that be heaven like? No. So the idea of having to poop, and please don't be turned off by this, okay, please, because I'm getting real with you. This is something that each and every one of us do every single day, hopefully, okay, hopefully. So please don't call yourself being turned off by it. Sometimes some things need to be discussed. It's as simple as that, no matter if that subject is disgusting in itself. So please don't be turned off by this. I'm just trying to make a point here, okay? I'm trying to make a point, and I feel what better point to make than to use this subject, because it's hardly ever talked about. It's hardly ever mentioned, but yet it's something that we do every day, hopefully. And basically, you can't survive without doing it. But I truly believe that if we had not sinned, we would not have to go through the disgusting, and it is disgusting. No matter how you slice it, it's disgusting. But we have to endure. We have to do this. We have to do it. We can try to walk around and act like your crap don't stink, it don't smell. Come on. It all does. And that is, in essence, the beauty of it, if there can be any beauty about it. Because we all have to go down that road. All of us. You can have the biggest head, meaning the biggest ego. But once you have to go behind that door and sit on that, or wherever else you do, it brings you along the level of everybody else. And if you think of things in that way, if you think of things in that manner, then you pop that bubble. You pop that ego. You bring that ego down the size. But unfortunately, many people don't see it that way. They don't see it that way. So that's why I'm presenting this to you to see it this way. Maybe you're that type of person who thinks that you're above everybody. Hey, I'm just bringing this up. Because sometimes what I say to you, I also have to look at myself in the mirror. Sometimes I can get that way. You be around a certain person, and because they may act differently, and then all of a sudden you think that, I'm better than you. Let's put that into the proper terms. You may be acting better, or maybe presenting yourself better than that person, okay? But overall, when it comes to a person, you are not above anyone, nor are you below anyone. We all bleed red. Even though we may be different skin tones, we may be a male or a female, but we all bleed red. And we all have to use the bathroom. I'm just saying.
Fantline.com is where you need to be if you're about growth and evolving as a person. And Fantline.com is about truth. Oh no, not my truth, God's truth. And if you're not about God's truth, then this isn't the website for you. If you're into gossip, then this isn't the website for you. And if you're not into learning and growing as a person, then again, this isn't the website for you. So come on, have some knowledge dropped on you. Or are you scared of what you may find out? So go to Fantline.com, or if you're into a listening mode, go to my podcast at anchor.fm/Marvin-Fant for Fantline 100. Either way, you'll learn something, and every so often I'll give away cash prizes, but you'll have to check out Fantline.com. Enough said.